Hey guys, welcome back to Wednesdays with Summer. Today's theme, I actually got to choose. We're doing this thing where everyone gets to choose a week. So I chose Story Week, where everyone tells an entertaining story. I am filming this actually. It is 7:30 on Wednesday and I'm just filming this and I have to upload it because I've just been so busy with dance. Anyway, my story is not really like an iconic moment in my life or anything. I'm just telling a story from 4th of July weekend a couple weeks ago. So it was 4th of July weekend. On the actual 4th of July, it was Saturday, and I was marching in a parade. I was dancing in a parade out in Wasilla where I live. My friend Faith, her whole family bought this lot at a lake, and so they like brought their motorhome there, and they're just gonna kind of like leave it there, and that'll be kind of their new go-to camping spot. So for their very first weekend there, I'm pretty sure they went on 4th of July weekend. They went like the entire weekend, you know, like Thursday to Monday. On Sunday, and it's by a lake. I don't know if I said that. It's by like right next to a big lake. Not big lake, a different lake. I won't say, but. Anyway, so on Sunday, super early in the morning, I woke up and we left at like 8 in the morning because it's like an hour and a half drive from my house to get there. So we stopped by Starbucks and we drove there, just me and my mom. I got dropped off. By the time I got dropped off, it was probably 9:30. And we kind of waited for all the kids to wake up till it was probably like 10:30. And then we went to the actual lake. Now, the only thing she'd really told me about the lake was that it had leeches. Now, I love to swim. Swimming is probably one of my favorite activities of all time. I like to swim in pools or on beaches where the water's clear and I can see through it. And I know that there isn't a blood-sucking creature just dying to get a hold of my blood through my flesh. You know, understandable stuff like that. Now, lakes, I just don't like the idea of lakes. They're murky. They probably have so much poop and so much pee in them. It's disgusting. And they have leeches and bleh, I just don't like them. So I went not expecting to get into the water really. And so we got to the little beach part by the lake that they had bought, and they had a boat, they had a jet ski, and a couple little inflatable like things. So the very first thing we did is we went on a kayak. Now it was a pretty small, it was one person kayak. It was like orange, and for one person it would have been very nice, you know. But Faith said, let's go on the kayak, and I said, are you sure it can fit 2 people? And she said, yeah, it'll be fine. And I was like, are you sure it's just one person? She's like, it'll be fine. So I got on, we got like, you know, the whole, like I was sitting like this and she was sitting behind me and had her legs wrapped around me, and that's how we were sitting. And I think I did the paddle, and so I was like trying to paddle, and the water was kind of coming in. Like, here's a kayak, and like, okay, let's say here's the water. The kayak probably should have been like here, and it was like here. Like, it was sinking so far in, and I was like, okay, let's just turn back around. She's like, fine. So we were starting to turn back around, and we were probably in the medium deep. We weren't like if we were to be in the water instead of in the kayak, we could probably touch the ground, but it would be all the seaweed where all the leeches are, you know? So we were turning back around, and it was totally filling up with water, and I was like, oh my God, let's just go, and I was kind of freaking out. And then Faith's cousin I was visiting, Bryce, he's my age, he's 14 actually, came by on the jet ski. And the wave, the kayak was here, and the jet ski filled it up completely with water till it was underwater. And it flipped over. Also, Faith was holding a dog that was not hers. It was one of her parents' friends' dog, and it was a tiny little Maltese Yorkie mix, and it could not swim, so I guess she somehow heroically saved its life. I didn't see it. I was too busy screaming my freaking butt off because I could feel the seaweed underneath me, and that's where exactly Faith said the leeches are. So I was just holding on to that upside down kayak for my dear life. I was like grabbing on and I was trying to climb on and it flipped over again. Now somewhere in this process, because by now it'd be upright, somewhere in this process it flipped over again because I remember pushing onto the shore upside down. So I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, I was just like grabbing on and I was like trying to climb onto the upside down kayak and I was just like floating on top of it and I'm like, and I was not nearly far enough into the shore yet. Like if I got off, it would probably still be to like my waist, maybe a little bit less. So I mean, I couldn't just get off. So I was just kind of stranded. And so finally, Faith's little sister Michaela was nice enough to pull me back into shore. And that kind of was the end of my adventures for a little while throughout the day. I went on the boat a little while and watched people go tubing and stuff. And later in the day, it was kind of evening. It was getting colder. And throughout the day, I'd been putting on sunscreen and everything, being safe. But, you know, whatever. I was still trying to get a little tan. And so me and Michaela went on, I think it was just me and Michaela. And we went on the island, and it's just a little, like, inflatable thing, and it can fit, like, 4 people. Of course they have, like, 8 people on it, though, at all times. And, yeah, and so we were just chilling on it, and it's just, like, a square with, like, a hole in the middle, and then you just sit on the edge of it. And so we were just chilling on there, and, yeah, and they had, like, a little anchor attached to the bottom so it didn't float away. And we were looking, the water was getting clear because, you know, it's like getting nighttime and there wasn't everyone in the water being active, so it was getting clear. And we were just looking in the water, and that's when I saw a leech this freaking big. No joke, it was squirming across the, I don't know. I just saw a lot of stuff that I did not like, and I was like freaking out. I was like, Michaela, I cannot walk back to land. Because again, this was probably the same distance out when I was on top of the upside down kayak, a little bit further, like, over, but it was still, like, the same deepness. Like, I could walk, but I did not want to. So I begged Michaela, I was like, please pull us back in. So she managed to, like, jump out really fast and pull us over to the jet ski that was, like, on the, kind of in the water, kind of in the shore, and then we climbed on that back to shore to safety, and yeah. So that night, everyone stayed up till like 1 in the morning, even though it was not 4th of July. So I woke up the next morning and I felt like someone was stabbing me all over in my body. And at the time, I was vegetarian. And so I knew that all they were gonna eat was meat. I was right. Literally, they had chicken, then they had some burgers, and then for dinner, they had steak and lobster at their neighbor's house, and that was it. So I brought carrots and animal crackers. So for breakfast, I had carrots and animal crackers, and yeah, and I was so sunburnt. I was literally like a tomato red. If you remember my get ready with me routine from like 2 weeks ago, and I had put that sunscreen on, that little lotion stuff on, that was because it was the day after I left the lake, so yeah. It was just all bad. I was hurting. I was in pain. So then we went back out to the lake, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to swim, and I was like, yeah, I'll swim. So we took out the paddle boat, and we went out onto the lake, like into the deep part where there was no seaweed, where it was like the leeches weren't, you know, because there was you couldn't feel the floor of the lake. So yeah, we went out on the paddle boat, and this paddle boat had not been used, obviously, for like at least, I mean, a couple months, it seems like. Maybe since last year, I don't know, because it was so overrun with spiders and spider webs. We had to get a towel to wipe them off, and we were still finding them. Anyway, we went out on the paddle boat to the, kind of not the middle of the lake, but the deeper part, the closest to the shore that was still deep. And yeah, and so then everyone, like, it was Michaela, Faith, and Bryce, and me who went out. And so everyone jumped off, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to get in now. So I just had my like legs in, I was swimming around. Yeah, this is nice. And I was happy. I wasn't like, oh, I really want to get in. I wasn't like that. I I was like, I kind of want to get in, but I don't really want to. And Bryce was like, you need to get in the lake. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. And so then before I knew it, I just remember being shoved into the water, and I freaked out, and I was like a ninja. Like, I just like got back on that paddle boat, like, whew. And so then right before we were about to pedal back, then I jumped back in, and it was super hard to get back on the boat. But yeah. And then that night, I left with good memories and bad memories. And overall, it was just a pretty funny weekend. I hope this video was funny. I hope it was funny to you. I could not think of any other funny stories, and it is currently 6:45, so I need to go edit this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week for another Wednesdays with Summer. And yeah, I know I didn't actually get eaten alive by leeches or whatever like the thumbnail says, but I'm a wannabe Shane Dawson.